You are sitting on the bathroom floor at 11 at night. You don't know why the bathroom. It's where you ended up. The tiles are cold through your jeans, and the light is too bright, and you have been crying for 20 minutes about something that is either very important or not important at all. You can't tell anymore, which is part of why you're crying. You have your back against the tub. Your knees are pulled up. You are doing the specific kind of breathing that happens after crying, the irregular kind. The kind your body does when it's trying to remember how to be normal. And then the dog pushes the door open. You didn't close it all the way. You never do. And now there is a 47-pound animal standing in the bathroom doorway, looking at you with an expression that you will later struggle to describe to anyone because it doesn't map cleanly onto any human face you have ever seen. It is not pity. It is not confusion. It is something more focused than either of those things. Something that looks, and you know how this sounds, like recognition. He crosses the bathroom in 4 steps. He puts his head in your lap. He stays. You will think about this moment for years. Not because it fixed anything. It didn't. But because something happened in that bathroom that you didn't have language for, and it turns out there is language for it. It's just been sitting in research papers and animal cognition labs and evolutionary biology journals, waiting for someone to explain it in a way that makes the bathroom floor make sense. This is that explanation. Start with the nose, because everything starts with the nose. A human nose contains roughly 6 million olfactory receptors. It is, by the standards of the animal kingdom, a mediocre instrument. Your dog's nose contains between 125 million and 300 million. Depending on the breed, and the part of the brain dedicated to analyzing smell is proportionally 40 times larger than yours. This is not a small difference. This is the difference between a flashlight and a lighthouse. When you cry, you produce a specific biochemical signature, stress hormones, cortisol primarily, but also adrenaline, elevated in your sweat and skin and the tears themselves. Your breathing pattern changes. Your heart rate changes. Your voice, if you make sound, drops in frequency and loses its rhythmic structure. Your body is broadcasting a distress signal on every channel it has, and your dog is receiving all of them simultaneously in real time with hardware that makes your own sensory system look like it was assembled from a kit. He knows you are in distress before you finish the first sob. He knew before that, probably, he may have known it was coming. A 2012 study out of the University of London put this to a direct test. Researchers had strangers and owners either cry, hum, or speak normally in front of 18 dogs. The dogs approached crying individuals, stranger or owner, significantly more often than they approached people who were humming or speaking. They didn't preferentially go to their owners. They went to whoever was in distress. The researchers described this as empathic-like responding. The dogs were not going to the familiar person. They were going to the suffering one. Read that again. They went to the stranger. Your dog is not coming to you because you are you. He is coming because something is wrong, and something being wrong is, in his entire neurological understanding of the world, a summons. Here is what he is actually reading when he looks at your face. Dogs have been living with humans for somewhere between 15,000 and 40,000 years, depending on which genetic study you trust. That is not a short time. That is longer than agriculture, longer than writing, longer than every civilization you learned about in school. For that entire stretch of time, the dogs who survived and reproduced were not necessarily the strongest or the fastest. They were the ones who could read people. A 2017 study published in Learning and Behavior found that dogs preferentially look at the left side of a human face when they encounter it, specifically the left side, which in humans displays emotion more expressively due to right hemisphere brain dominance. Dogs do this with human faces. They do not do this with dog faces or with the faces of other animals. Only human faces get the left gaze bias. They evolved this specifically for us. They are reading your face the way you would read a text message, scanning for information, parsing tone, building a model of your internal state from the signals your face is producing. When you cry, your brow furrows in a specific pattern. The orbicularis oculi, the muscle around the eye, contracts differently during genuine distress than during performed distress. Dogs can tell the difference. A 2015 study found that dogs could distinguish genuine emotional expressions from posed ones with accuracy that suggested they weren't just pattern matching to visual cues. They were reading something underneath the cues. He is looking at your face, and he is understanding something about what is happening inside you. Not metaphorically, neurologically. Now the behavior, what he does next, and why. When your dog pushes his head into your lap, he is not performing comfort. He is not doing the dog equivalent of sending a sympathy card. Something specific is happening in his body while he does this. Physical contact between dogs and between dogs and humans they are bonded to triggers oxytocin release in both parties. Oxytocin is the neuropeptide associated with bonding, trust, and social connection. It is released during human hugging, during mother-infant contact, during moments of genuine intimacy between people. The same mechanism activates during dog-human physical contact. A 2015 study in Science found that when dogs and their owners gazed at each other, both species showed elevated oxytocin levels. The dog's brain chemistry was responding to the humans the way a human brain responds to another human it loves. When he puts his head in your lap, his brain is releasing the same compound yours releases when someone holds your hand during something hard. He is not simulating the gesture of comfort. He is experiencing the neurological state that produces the gesture of comfort. He is not pretending. His body is doing this. What he wants, and want is not too strong a word here, the research supports it, is for your distress signal to change. This is not selfless. It is also not selfish. It is something older and more complicated than either. He is a social animal whose nervous system is calibrated to the emotional states of his group. And when a member of his group is in distress, his own nervous system registers it as a problem that requires a response. Your crying is not just your pain. In a real, measurable, neurological sense, it is his problem too. He is there because he cannot not be there. There is a specific behavior some dogs do that owners almost never have language for. He comes to you when you cry, but he also comes to you sometimes before you cry, before anything visible has happened, before you have made a sound, or changed your posture, or done anything that a human observer would register as distress. You are sitting on the couch, watching something. You are at the kitchen table. You are fine, outwardly. And he gets up from wherever he was and crosses the room and sits next to you, or puts his paw on your leg and just waits. You think, how did he know? The answer is cortisol. Stress hormones become detectable in human perspiration before the emotional response is consciously registered. Before you know you are anxious, your body is already producing the biochemical signature of anxiety. The smell precedes the awareness. Your dog is responding to a distress signal that you haven't received yet yourself. He knew before you did. This is the thing that gets people, not the bathroom floor moment, as tender as that is. The fact that there is an animal in your house who is monitoring your internal state with instrumentation that exceeds your own, who receives the signal of your distress before your own mind processes it, and who gets up and crosses the room in response. He is not reacting to your sadness. He is tracking it in real time, continuously, the way a heart monitor tracks a pulse. You are always being watched, not predatorily, protectively. The attention never fully stops. The whining is a specific communication, not just noise. When a dog whines in response to your distress, he is using a vocalization that in wolf and dog social structures signals care-soliciting behavior, the sound juveniles make to elicit attention and help from adults. He is not using the bark, which is territorial and alarm-based. He is not using the growl. He is using the sound that, in the evolutionary history of his species, means I need help or I am here. The sound that is designed to create a response in the listener. He is saying something. The register is not human language, but it is not random noise. It is a targeted acoustic signal produced by an animal that has co-evolved with your species for 15,000 years to communicate specifically with you. Some dogs don't whine. They do the thing that is somehow harder to explain, the complete stillness. They come to you and they stop. No fidgeting, no looking around. The full weight of their attention, which is considerable, lands on you and stays. Researchers who study dog attention describe this as affiliative proximity, staying close, not for any immediate practical reason, but because proximity itself is the offering. He cannot fix what is wrong. He is not trying to fix what is wrong. He is putting his body between you and the thing that is wrong, in the oldest, most literal way that a body can do that. This is what loyalty looks like before language, before civilization, before any of the elaborate structures humans built to take care of each other. A body, present, not leaving. Here is the part that most people don't know. Your dog does not only respond to your visible distress, he responds to your emotional state even when you are actively concealing it. A 2019 study published in PLOS One measured physiological stress indicators in dogs, specifically cortisol levels in the dog's own body, and correlated them with their owners' reported anxiety levels, even when the owners were behaving normally and showing no outward signs of distress. The dog's cortisol levels mirrored their owners over the long term. This means that if you are a person who carries chronic anxiety, the low-grade, invisible kind that never peaks into a visible crisis but never fully leaves, your dog is carrying a version of it too. He is not just responding to your worst moments. He is in a state of low-level attunement to your baseline. His nervous system is partially synchronized to yours. The technical term researchers use is emotional contagion. The plain language version is, he feels what you feel, approximately, imperfectly, but genuinely. He cannot tell you this. He cannot ask you if you are okay. He cannot sit across a table from you and say, I noticed you seem off today. Do you want to talk about it? He has none of the tools that humans use to perform care. He has only his presence and his attention and his body, all of which he gives you completely, without reservation, without the hesitation that humans bring to the vulnerable act of showing up for someone. He gives you everything he has, every time. There is a last thing, and it is the one that explains the bathroom floor. Dogs experience what researchers call secure base effect, the same psychological phenomenon documented in human infants with their primary caregivers. In a strange or threatening environment, an infant will periodically check in with the caregiver, using their presence as a reference point for whether the world is safe. When the caregiver is present and calm, the infant explores. When the caregiver shows distress, the infant orients toward them. Dogs do this with their owners. You are their secure base. In 2013, researchers at the University of Veterinary Medicine in Vienna ran a secure base experiment with dogs and found that dogs behaved with their owners the way human infants behave with parents, using eye contact as a check-in, orienting toward them when uncertain, becoming distressed when separated. The bond structure is not analogous to the infant-parent bond. According to the study's authors, it is the same bond. Functionally, neurologically, the same. You are his secure base, which means when the secure base is unstable, when you are on the bathroom floor, breathing wrong, crying, he doesn't stay in the other room. His entire nervous system tells him that the secure base requires stabilization. He is not coming to receive comfort. He is coming to provide it, to the entity around whose well-being his psychological architecture is organized. He comes to the bathroom because you are there. He stays because leaving is not something his nervous system will allow. The dog on the bathroom floor is not being a good dog. That framing is too small. He is not performing a trained behavior. He is not executing a cute trick or fulfilling a role or doing the thing dogs do in movies. He is a 15,000-year product of coevolution between his species and yours, running hardware developed specifically to read your face and your smell and your voice and your biochemistry, responding to a distress signal with the only tools he has, which are his body and his attention and his refusal to leave. He is the most ancient form of the thing humans spend their whole lives looking for, someone who knows when you are not okay. Before you say it, sometimes before you know it yourself, someone whose response to that knowledge is immediate and physical and unconditional. Someone for whom your pain is not an inconvenience or a burden, but a signal that overrides everything else and says, go to them. You didn't train him to do this. He came this way. He came this way because your ancestors and his ancestors spent 15,000 years making each other, slowly, into exactly what the other one needed. The bathroom door is always open. He always pushes through it. He has been doing this, in one form or another, since before your species had words for what it means to not be alone. That's what he's trying to do. That's all he's ever trying to do.